I'm going to try a little experiment on this battery. I did kind of restore it pretty good. It's not bad. It's a 2019 battery. I got some of this stuff. It's called Charge It Heavy Duty Concentrated Battery Additive, and definitely says it's guaranteed to restore, improve, or give prolonged life to any kind of batteries and performance. So you just add some of this to the battery. Now the thing is about this, it doesn't really go bad. It takes a long time. You know, you can keep this forever, um, and you only need 2 ounces for a regular battery. 2 ounces for the entire battery. That's not 2 ounces per cell, so that's like less than a half an ounce per cell. And so in other words, this thing will treat 16 batteries. Now I got several vehicles and a motorcycle and a battery in my diesel generator. So I'm going to put it in there. Now, fortunately, I have it's over here, yeah. This is graduated in, see, 2 ounces for that all the way down to there. So it's got a half ounce graduation marker. So I'm going to do just a little bit below a half ounce in each one of these cells, because there's 6 of them. I already took a big screwdriver and pried this open. I'm going to have to do it again, get this off of here. There it goes. And so we just put a little bit in each one of them, see what happens. Just a half ounce each. Let it sit a while. Put the charger on it. And I'm going to use like maybe this one here, the Yasso battery charger, and then we'll use the battery minder desulfator. And I'll do a load test on it, see what happens, and see if it's a little bit better than what it was before. I should also mention that this stuff itself, it's not like battery acid. There's no problem. It's not a battery acid. It's it's just not caustic or anything. So it's not dangerous like battery acid. It's another good thing. So if it's showing you before and after. Longer life for new and old batteries. I think it won't work if you got a really old battery, because usually there's some kind of damage going on. But this one load test out good enough to start the car, but it's a little weak. But still, it'll start the car, so it's not really a bad battery. Yeah, this thing makes it very easy to fill up the battery. Just put a little bit in there. You got a perfect measured amount. So put some in there. That's that. What's cool about this too, you don't have to worry that it's acidic. And so I did the whole battery. Look how much I got. It's almost full, right? Another big advantage to it. So I'll probably see about trying to get the lid off of this thing. Get this one done too, right here. And I'll try doing another test on it, see how it works out. This battery, I don't think think this thing's screwed up. This one here is messed up. I'm gonna have to replace it. But I might, when I get it, I might put a little bit of this stuff in a new one when I replace it. So these are good to go. Probably needs a little bit of water in there. Some of them, I'll put a little bit of water in them, distilled. I should mention, to take this off, it's not that simple. It's like you gotta put the screwdriver under there, and you gotta kind of tap it in there and pry it up, and then put it back on. You really gotta stand on it for it to snap in place. So I put these posts on here, which makes it easy to connect the charger. So that should come on. It does an amber light in the beginning. And we'll charge it up, and then we'll put I'll put the Bedini charger on it. I mean the battery minder charger on it, and I'll throw the load tester on and see what happens. And I think we're gonna do this one too. And if this one works out good, I'll put it in this generator over here, the diesel generator. Try to start it up, see how well it goes. And the one that's out of the diesel generator, I'll put a little bit of that stuff in it too, the Odyssey battery, because it still works good enough. It's weak. It's very weak, but it will start that generator. And I probably will do the Sebring. The El Camino with it too. That's got a Group 27 battery in it, so that's a big one. And if I get this one replaced, I'll probably, even when it's brand new, I'll probably put some of that stuff in there too, because it says longer life for new and old batteries. Neutralizes white, crusty lead surface surfaces, eliminates calcium deposits, increases contacts between acid and the lead plates, non-flammable. There it is. So the battery's usefulness is in climates is, I don't know, I can't read all this stuff on here. You know, get my, well, I can read it, but I can't read it that well. Usually wear these 1.25 power reading glasses, not very strong ones. I can read it, but not that well. Guaranteed to restore and improve, prolong the life and performance of batteries, regardless of age and make. Non-acidic. Has an indefinite shelf life. That's what sold me on it, because you can keep this around. Say I only use 1/4 of this, I can keep it around for years, and some years later I could still use it. And we'll see what happens, because these batteries are not cheap, and it's not a big deal if you just have one vehicle. But I got 4 vehicles, a motorcycle, and the generator, so you know it adds up. Plus I got that, I like having this thing. This is for my emergency generator. In conjunction with the generator, I can run an inverter off of it. Oh yeah, I got the boat battery too. So that's actually what that's for too, the boat. Well, I'm going to put some of this stuff to charge it in this battery in my El Camino. It's got the little 305 with the 4-barrel and stuff. This battery's from 2019, so December 2019, so it's 3 years old almost. In here, 2021, 22, a little over 3 years. So 3.5. I'm going to go ahead and now I said before I was like early in the morning, so I wasn't really awake yet. You got to do well, you can do 10 on this. That would be it, because 1/6 quarter, you know, in other words, 2 ounces. Let's say 2 ounces is pretty close to 60 cc's. So 1/6 of that, you got 6 cells, is 10. Or you do a third. Third would be, well, that's right about a third. So just do 10 cc's. So we'll do that in this right now. This makes it easy. This is like an actually not an automotive thing. This is actually a medical thing, but it works pretty well. Anyway. Okay, they took care of that, and actually it didn't overfill them or nothing, because it's only 10 cc's. 10 cc's, I guess, is good. If you got it measured in centimeters, or what is that, milliliters? Milliliters. 10 milliliters is that what that is? I guess it's milliliters. Cc's, whatever. I think that's the same thing, because there's, you know, the volume of water is the same as the milliliters. I guess the density is higher or something. So put these back on. You notice how I have them painted them orange. I don't know why I did that, but this is a Group 27 battery. It's pretty powerful. So and what does that say, 1,000 on there? 1,000 something. Cranking amps, 1,000. Max 27. Cranks is 305 over, no problem. Anyway, next we're going to do this thing right here. Okay, just put the stuff in this thing. This thing has one of those designed not to maintenance free battery. This is going to be I'm going to have to tap that on there with the mallet, you know, rubber mallet. It's another 1,000 cold cranking amps battery. This is a Group 78. How old is this thing? I don't know if it dates on. Oh, 12. Yeah, that's getting to be, it's 2.5 years old already. So still cranks this engine over like nothing. This is a 4-cylinder. The battery in here is supposed to be like 1/4 the size. I was having a group 75 battery in there, which is kind of typical for like V6s and stuff. This is actually for like an Impala V8 car. That's the advantage of having the older cars. If you can put a bigger battery in usually. And you notice like there was not a problem installing this. I had to put adapters on the side posts, and this is the ground, so it's near the firewall. But if it's not going to short nothing out. This is the actual positive side. I actually have it marked up here. And even have it here where this is coming out of the hood. You can plug in your charger right there and charge it while leaving the hood shut. It's pretty nice. Got a charging port on it. But at one time I did get 17 years out of a 1-year battery that was like way smaller than this. It was an AutoZone 1-year warranty battery, and I was using that battery minder desulfation charger on it all the time, and I also had a little solar panel with it that I had plugged into the cigarette lighter with so a lot of people say, how come they don't use this straight from the factories and stuff? Well, there's a lot of things you would think they would do straight from the factories that would be better, like stainless steel exhaust. You never have to buy another exhaust again, right? How many people, they have aluminized exhaust. They have a lifespan of like how long they want it to last. There's better coatings they could have done on the cars. Even back in the 60s, they had cosmoline. There was stuff they used to store in the military that were coated with cosmoline from like the 1800s. How come they didn't use cosmoline inside the rocker panels and inside the fenders, and especially in the structures inside the frames? How come they didn't do that? A lot of times they didn't even paint something. They don't even do that sometimes today. Sometimes trucks are coming with unpainted frames. Okay, so there's a lot of things, the fact that they don't do right straight from the factory. They want you to buy a new one. So the reason it convinced me on this to use and try this was because I'm not going to be able to test it on this, because this is a good battery. It's not going to get, if it gets better, I'm not going to be able to tell how much better it is. Same thing with the El Camino. The other one, maybe I could tell. But this has thousands of reviews on Amazon. Most of them are really great reviews. And the thing is, the ones that are negative reviews are like batteries they were like completely gone. That's what I saw. For the most part. So if the battery's got like a damaged cell in it and something physically damaged to it, if you see a bulge on the side of the battery, it was overcharged or something, or got overheated or something. And this thing ain't gonna fix physical damage. Just like with engines, engine additives, a lot of times they work to help free up the rings or free up a stuck lifter, but they're not gonna fix actual damage. Or they can help seal gaskets, or helps, head gasket sealing is another good example. A lot of times this stuff they formulated today with the carbon fiber or the copper strands mixed in with the silicate for the head gaskets, that stuff really works really, really well, if you use it right. And it's maybe quote unquote a temporary repair, but a temporary repair that can last you 2 years. Okay, so that's a pretty long temporary repair. So this, I don't expect the battery to last 30 years or something, but if it lasts 2 more years after this, because I put this stuff in it, great. And this I'm going to have to hammer this down with the rubber mallet. It's not on there all the way. These are not really designed to come off. This is a maintenance-free battery. I'm also going to try this on a motorcycle battery. But there's a number of things they don't do with cars that could be better. And they don't want you having a battery that's going to last 10 years. I remember John Bedini was showing some special battery chargers he has that they're like thousands of dollars though, but it'd be worth it to get them if you have like golf cart batteries or something, golf cart business or something. He was restoring batteries from the Korean War from 1951, 1952. That's how old they were, and he was bringing them back to life with that thing, special charge cycles. Now this thing would be a good application if you got like a golf cart battery and stuff. I think this would be smart to have this, and especially something like that where you're constantly charging it and you need the juice to freaking run the golf cart. But I for what it costs, I think it's like 30 something bucks. So you got, oh here, it's got 2-ounce graduations in here, see? You got, oh, it's got the ounce graduations in here, so there's 32 ounces in it. So you can do 16 batteries with that. So if you do a few batteries now and you want to use it 5 years from now, this stuff is not going to have it doesn't really have a shelf life on it. It's going to last So is it worth it to me? Yeah, definitely. Okay, I was able to pry the top off of this twin power. It's actually called a shocker now, 320 coil cranking amps. This is about 5 years old though. I don't know if it's got a date stamp on it, but it is about, probably don't have a date stamp on it. Nope. Anyway, it is about maybe more than 5 years old. Well, you can see the little filler up things down here. They're really pretty full. I'm going to probably put a tiny bit in there just to top them off. Then I'm going to go around here and reseal this gasket with shoe goo and tape it down with Gorilla Tape so it'll be sealed. It's not going back in a motorcycle anyway. It's just going to be on a generator just to see if it gets a little more oomph in it. I think it should work a little bit, but it sure can't put much of stuff in there. I could probably drain some out, but if that bigger battery, car batteries take 2 ounces, this doesn't even take a half an ounce. So what's that going to be? Probably like that much on this thing. So you know, if it's a quarter, you know, half ounces, if 2 ounces, excuse me, on a big battery is 10 milliliters per cell, this is going to be probably a half an ounce. I mean, you just have to put a tiny bit in there. It's going to be a guesstimate, but I don't really know what size how much fluid is in here, but obviously it's way less than a quarter. So let's see. Just put as much as I can in here without overfilling it. Now it seemed to take a lot more of this stuff than I thought it would, because I guess, you know, no matter what they tell you, they say the batteries are sealed and all this kind of garbage, they have to gas somehow, so they got to lose the acid somehow. Not as much as the standard variety, like just some kind of advanced glass mat technology. They're not going to lose as much acid as before, but it could have been down a little bit after 5 years of use. So just putting a little more juice in there, and this is not acid. This is some kind of stuff that works with the acid. The acid is still in there. So if you were to add water to this, you would have to distill the water and top it off. You're not really supposed to, but I think this is better than using distilled water because it's going to help desulfate it. And it looks like there's no damage on this battery. Nothing's bulging out. And I just load tested it. You saw that in the other video. It came back. It came back. So I just don't trust it, you know. So I got a new one in here, but this is still a great one for the generator. Okay, I got the battery weighted down with a couple of brake. It's just actually a brake pad underneath that, and it's sitting flat against the top plastic part that I re-glued on with some shoe goo. And I cleaned everything with brake clean. I got it taped over there with Gorilla Tape and 2 rotors on top of it. So actually, when it dries, I could take this stuff. I got to get some more of this. I use this a lot for a lot of different things. This actually works good if you're doing like electrical connectors, like crimp-on connectors, and you don't want the water to infiltrate in there and get them what do you call it, like corroded. You put some of this around where the crimp-on connector is, where the wire goes into the crimp-on connector. It keeps it from corroding. So, but I went around it with this, and I can go around the top of it with this and make sure it's chemically clean with brake cleaner, so this stuff sticks. This stuff really lasts a long time. It's designed for fixing shoes, which, you know, they bend and all that kind of stuff, so it doesn't crack off. Totally waterproof. So that actually, even though I'm not putting it in a motorcycle, you would be able to put it in a motorcycle again. It would be perfectly fine. Okay, I'm not going to load test this on the same video. I'm probably going to do it next week, probably upload another video next week. I don't have any great expectations that this is going to be drastically different. I might notice something a little bit, but it's not going to be something I can really scientifically verify. But I'm really going by is the reviews on Amazon, which is not a few reviews. It's thousands of reviews. I think there's hundreds of reviews or thousands of reviews, and most of them are very good, especially with people use like golf carts and stuff because they're constantly using up batteries. They say this stuff does extend the life of a battery. I think it does work, but you got to make sure, again, you got to make sure the battery's like in at least pretty good shape. If it's got some sulfation, it should work. If it's damaged, forget about it, you know. I think that's where the bad reviews came from, but I don't think I'm going to get any noticeable results because that load tester I got is not like You know, it goes in graduations of 200 cold cranking amps. So it goes like 1,000, 800, 600, 400, 200. It's not that accurate of a gauge. And there's always temperature differences and all this other kind of garbage. So if you get like another 50 cold cranking amps out of it, does that really mean it worked? Not really. But I do, you know, for the cost and the fact that you can keep it around forever, the stuff around forever, it doesn't have a shelf life, and it's safe. It's not like an acid. So, you know, to me, it's worth it. Yeah, I should also add, this is actually good for people that got a lot of cars. Like, I don't have that many cars, but there's people out there that got like 10, 15, 20, 30 cars, and they're always like, sometimes they got batteries in them and stuff. They probably want to use a little solar charger on them, but then it'd be a good idea to have this stuff in the battery to keep it from getting sulfated as easily. Especially with these, you know, car collectors, quote unquote, and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, I think a Dead Dodge Garage, he's got a bunch of cars. Carter Restyling, he's got a bunch of cars. Vice Grip Garage got a bunch of cars. Pole Barn Garage got a bunch of cars. I don't know, there's a bunch of them out there. You know, that, oh yeah, Tony's, Uncle Tony's Garage, he's got a bunch of cars. And you only need batteries, so, you know, there's some good stuff to put in the batteries, especially if you know, it's not really worth it. If you just got one car, I don't think it's going to save you that much money. If you got a bunch of cars, yeah, and you got like you got boats, you got generators and stuff like that, yeah, I think it's smart.